just a mere few days ago. I wondered aloud, is it going to be this year or is it going to be next year? I knew it would be one of the two. Well, after what I have seen on the news this morning, I'm leaning to this year. Let's go ahead and get started. Zero hedge. Blast detected near Nordstream as images reveal huge leak. AFP News reported the U.S. is ready to provide support to Europe after the Nord Stream pipeline system leaks. There was no further information on what type of support, but one can only imagine if it would involve increased natural gas, liquid LP gas cargo shipments to the EU. There's only one issue. Swedish broadcaster SVT reported that the Swedish National Seismic Network detected 2 underwater explosions near the Nord Stream pipeline system yesterday. One of the explosions had a magnitude of 2.3 and was registered at as many as 30 measuring stations in southern Sweden, SVT said. Björn Lund, a professor in seismology and director of the Swedish National Seismic Network, said these 2 seismic events were explosions. Now I wonder why there were 2 explosions. We're going to find out very, very quickly. Here's a map of the 3 leaks on Nord Stream pipeline system. Alright. All blasts seem to be just outside territorial waters, though within EEZ, that has potential legal implications regarding interference with sovereignty, so they're already suspecting sabotage. Also interesting is whether sheer size of methane bubbles, 1 kilometer in diameter, moves it back inside Danish territory. Apparently there are 3 separate leaks. These are the locations. So they're near Denmark. Nord Stream 1 and Nord Stream 2. This is, what, half a mile wide. Alright? Now, of course, everybody is going to be 100% certain it was sabotaged by men. And indeed, I'm going to have to go find that article. Oh, I know how to find it. Watch this. Indeed. Oh, right here. On Twitter, you can find it. Joe Biden said some things a while ago that would point all the fingers at the USA. Let's hold on. Wait a minute. I gotta get the volume here.
Let me answer this first question first. If Russia invades, that means tanks or troops crossing the border of Ukraine again. Then there will be no longer a Nord Stream 2. We will bring it into it.
Did you hear that?
But how will you do that exactly? Since the project and control of the project is within Germany's control.
We will. I promise you, we'll be able to do it.
There you go, folks.
Let me answer this.
Yeah, you want to hear it again?
First. If Russia invades, that means tanks or troops crossing the border of Ukraine again. Then there will be no longer a Nord Stream 2. We will bring an end to it.
And there you have it, folks. Now, whether that was a threat or whether the U.S. government followed through on the threat doesn't really matter. See, in the eyes of men, perception is 9/10 of reality. He said it would happen. It did happen. Therefore, the U.S. government did it. But we don't know that. But remember what I just said. Perception in the eyes of men is 9/10 of reality. Now, let's have a look at war news. There's a Greek website, and it is, I've only been following it for a week, and it seems to be providing consistent reports. I've had a lot of difficulty finding a source that's consistent. Emergency. On the verge of global conflict, special forces dropped 100 TNT bombs on the Russian Nordstream pipeline. The explosion caused an earthquake. I don't know if I should watch the video or not. Energy developments at the global level are triggered by the blowing up of Russian natural gas pipeline Nord Stream 1 and 2, according to information. A group of underwater expedition of an unknown country placed bombs in the thick concrete-coated steel pipes located at the bottom. The Swedish seismologist Björn Lund even reported that at least 100 kilograms of TNT and even more must have been used for these explosions. The Norwegian seismic array, Nordsar, pointed out that the earthquake caused by the Nord Stream explosions was about as big as the one caused by an explosion in Oslo in 2011. The German gas network operator said the Nord Stream 1 and 2 pipelines have suffered a major rupture and they have opened up over a long distance. There is a natural gas leak with a diameter of 1 kilometer in the Baltic Sea. The pipelines are finished. They aren't going to work until the end of the year and probably never again. Did you see that? Did you hear that? Did you read it? And that, my friends, is the reason why I believe nukes will start flying shortly. This was followed by 2 powerful underwater explosions in the Nord Stream pipelines, according to Sweden's National Seismic Network. One of the explosions caused magnitude 2.3. Explosions caused 2 leaks in Nord Stream 1, one in the Swedish EEZ and one in the Danish EEZ. They're very close to each other. And down here, they're saying the U.S.-Russia conflict is now out of control. I agree. I have warned the entire world population about this. This is spelling the end of the time of the Gentiles. For 6 or 7 years, or how long it was, over and over and over and over and over again, not only did I talk about the time of the Gentiles coming to an end, but that the fall of the Gentiles means the rising up of Israel. It means salvation for Israel. And I don't know of anyone Surely there should have been at least one more who went on YouTube or some other platform. This is, folks, understanding this is not rocket science. This is not something that takes a PhD in theology. No. Yet nobody. There's been nobody. I have looked, I have checked, I have scoured the internet. Nobody. Nobody, Jew or Gentile, has, not that I know of, please somebody prove me wrong. Please somebody prove me wrong. Anybody prove me wrong. Please do it. It would make me feel a little bit better. Because as much effort that I put into this, I will show you my videos, and I will show you how few views there have been. But there's no excuse. There is no excuse whatsoever for mankind not knowing. And I'm a witness to that fact that there is no excuse, because if somebody so low on the world's totem pole can figure it out, then so can everybody else. So I'm going to go to all the way back to 4 years ago. I posted a video, Daniel 9 Timeline Revisited. And years before that, I proved how all the Christian narratives concerning Daniel 9 was absolutely false. I proved it. And this one was 4 years ago. How many views did it get? 12. This particular one, how evangelical false narrative turns Israel's Messiah into the Antichrist. 4 years ago, and what did I get? What did I get for views? What did that video get for views? 25. Political fracturing of the West foretold in the prophets. I go on in the prophets to show where this political fracturing of the West was foretold. 5 views. Peace plan or no peace plan, Jerusalem shall rise and the world shall fall. 13 views. All right, we're going to go back even further. If I can. I don't know what's going on. Hope I don't have to move my phone. Rome to be destroyed when they shall say peace and safety. And in the past year, I showed everyone many times, numerous times, went over this numerous times. And this goes all the way back 4 years ago. Day of wrath and nuclear holocaust. Folks, I've been talking about this at least 4 years ago. Why was nobody listening? Look, 10 views. There's no excuse, folks. See, here's the thing about the world we live in today. What the internet has done is has exposed everyone. It has exposed everyone. See, the internet made it easy, suddenly. Let me repeat myself. The internet made it suddenly easy to find the biblical answers. Because, see, my dad, before the internet, I remember watching him reading his Bible, going in through his big old thick Strong's Concordance, which I also have a copy of myself. And he would find little things that were incorrect in King James Bible. It was extremely tedious for him. You know what? Finding this was not tedious at all for me. What then does that say about the world? And I believe it was this one, the tent of Shem in the New Jerusalem. I may have, I'm not sure. Many times I've discussed how the sons of Japheth will lose their tents. Figuratively speaking, they will lose their lands and will be forced to live as servants of the sons of Shem in the Middle East in the tents of Shem. And peace plan of the century announced 4 years ago. Catholic priesthood crimes foretold by Paul and Cephas. Crushing supersessionism. The Gentile church has disobeyed the gospel. I could go further. Let's go further. On and on, over and over and over again, and look at the measly views. Right here, the U.S. and Russia promised peace, and I don't remember that one. I might have to save that one, and I might have to open that in another link and listen to it. I don't want to listen to it right now because I'm doing a video. Oh, that's where it says U.S. and Russia promise peace and safety for Israel. And right here, I said Israel will be saved first and then they will believe. Where did I get that out of? Well, Ezekiel 39. Also, also Romans 11. British Kingdom insults Jerusalem again. Anyway, what I'm saying is you have seen. I'm proving you today, right now, that I have been after this for quite a few years. Probably close to, I don't know, somewhere between 100 and 200 videos a year. So let's go then to Bible Hub. And let's reread Revelation 9. And you may ask, well, what about the fifth trumpet? I did a video about that. How this appears to describe U.S. helicopters. And the scorpion sting is a neurotoxin. And the United States has been accused of using neurotoxins in Vietnam War and the Korean War, although the Chinese government and the U.S. government have denied it. When have you ever heard the U.S. government and the Chinese government tell the truth about anything? The sixth messenger sounded, and I heard a voice from the four horns of the golden altar which is before, not God, but Jehovah Elohim, saying to the sixth messenger which had the shofar, not trumpet, but shofar, release the four messengers which are bound in the great river Euphrates. And by the looks of it, I'm wondering if they were released last year right about this time. And the four messengers were loosed. And why were they loosed? To prepare for an hour. So the preparations take place an hour in a day, in a month, and a year. My guess. That's what my guess is. So it took their preparation an hour, a month, a day, and a year to do what? For to slay the third part of men. So therefore, Jehovah was responsible for this. He said, that's it. Time to release those messengers. Time to get this started. What I'm saying is, although it looks like the United States destroyed Nordstream 1 and Nordstream 2, who's to say that an earthquake didn't strike there and busted up both of those pipes? But you see what happened? See, somebody opened their mouth. Somebody opened their big fat mouth and was taunting, was threatening to sabotage the Nord Stream pipelines. Do I believe that men destroyed it with TNT or with bombs? Nope, I don't. I don't believe it. I believe that what busted those pipes came from supernatural sources. And the number of the army of the horsemen were myriads, two myriad, or two 10,000, 10,000. Doesn't say two 10,000 times 10,000, does it? Nope. And I heard a number of them, and I saw the horses in the vision, and then having, and not them, but that which was to be seated on them, having breastplates of fire, the color of fire, and the color was like jacinth and brimstone. And as I have many times, jacinth let's get more pictures. As you can plainly see, jacinth is typically black, orange, red, and yellow. But it can also be black and yellow. So what was it? Jacinth and brimstone. So the color was yellow and black. And it was on the breastplates. And as I have over and over and over and over again, yours, ICBM, so many times, I get tired of it saying over and over and over and over again sometimes. There it is. There's the mouth that this thing sets in, right here. The head is wide like a lion. All right? The heads of the horses were as the heads of a lion. It means they weren't horses as we know it. But what does a horse do? A horse draws a carriage. A horse pulls something that has wheels on it. Look, Yonah was doing the best he could. And out of the mouth issued fire and smoke. There's the mouth right here. Issues fire and smoke. How? And brimstone. And by these three was a third part of men killed, by the fire, and by the smoke, and by the brimstone. So what does brimstone do? Well, just look at sulfur when it burns. Okay? And when they fire nukes upon cities, the cities burn like sulfur does. Now the smoke kills people. Regular smoke does not kill people. Unless, of course, they are trapped in a house fire or a building fire. What I mean is, regular smoke does not kill a third of mankind. By the brimstone which issued out of their mouth, for their power is in their mouth and in their tail. Power sits in the mouth, and that is the tail. You can look up ICBM that's raised up, and it looks like a tail. Power is in their mouth and in their tail. For the tails look like serpents' tails. And there are heads. Multiple. Oh, wait a minute. It just says a head. See if it's plural or singular. Or it could be heads. Alright? So it could be warheads. The rest of the men which were not killed by these plagues, yet repented not of the works of their hands, that they should not worship devils. And I told you, and I proved to you over and over and over again that Jesus is a demon. But you won't listen to me. In fact, I'll go to BitChute and I'll show you that you won't listen to me, you Christians. What we got? We got more? We got more of this? So I finally have probably a Jew that's who corrected me, and rightly so. He says Adonai is pronounced Adonai. I was saying Adonai. And I said thank you, but now I have looked into it. The pronunciation appears to be Adonai. I will change my pronunciation accordingly. And he says he's glad I didn't take offense to the comment. I'm a new sub. Thanks for your teaching and kindness. Ashkenazim say Adonai, I don't know why, which means he's probably Sephardic or Mitzrayim Jew. Okay? I can tell right away he's a Jew. But when the Jews, when they correct me, it's like this. But you Christians, wait a minute. While, what is this thing doing now? Okay. You Christians, look what you do. You say, your pride has thoroughly deceived you, spirit is life, and the adulterous wife will perish. As if somehow they're talking about Israel being the adulterous wife that will perish. Well, they obviously didn't bother to read Hosea, because if they would have bothered to read Hosea, then they would realize that Jehovah is going to take Israel back. He says the adulterous wife will perish. So he's saying Israel will perish. Then what, if he says the adulterous wife will perish, then what in the world is going to happen to the great whore, which the church has turned out to be? He says he has living water flowing through his body right now, not you prideful, arrogant ones. And then he starts saying Christ cares more about the fruit of spirit of love, patience, meekness, kindness, purity, gentleness, charity, humbleness, long-suffering, knowledge. I am the lame person from Micah 4. Jeremiah lame person from Jeremiah 31? What is it with you Christians? This guy says he's Israel. Right? And so this guy is nuts, so I answer him this way: the salvation of Israel is upon us. Alright? So he goes, I am referring to Mount Zion, the heavenly Jew. Oh, not Israel. The church, city of, okay, to the church of the firstborn who's not, okay. You see what these guys are doing? And so I address him because he's all right. Well, this. But so as soon as he starts using Jesus Christ, then you know he worships a demon. Because that's what Christians do. That's the reason why their words make absolutely no sense at all. So I answer him, Yehoshua is the Moshiach, not Jesus Christ. Anyone who uses the name Jesus is denying the given birth name of Yehoshua. Jesus or Azus was a Britannic and Gaulish idol, not Hebrew. Okay? So he goes and says, no, you're the one who doesn't understand, sir. You are reading from the Babylonian text, the adulterous wife. He thinks he's going to be raptured too, I'm sure. All Christians think they're going to be raptured. So he goes, I actually know all about it, and you're absolutely not correct. His name is Jesus Christ. And so my final answer to him was a checkmate answer that he could not answer. Was Iesous is Greek, Jesus is Celtic, Yehoshua is Hebrew. So is your Messiah Greek, Celtic, or Hebrew? No answer. 17 hours ago. Checkmate. When the Moshiach comes to save Israel from their enemies, all the Jews will be running to the gates of Jerusalem as fast as they can go. And you Christians, you won't. You're going to call him the Antichrist. And you're going to do it after, or yes, and maybe a little bit before, but especially after the first plague of the sixth shofar sound. The reason why I say that is because it is written here. And the rest of the men who were not killed by these plagues yet repented not of the works of their hands, that they should not worship devils, and idols of gold, silver, and brass, and stone, and of wood, that they have carved, graven images of in their Sunday go-to-meeting buildings, which can neither see, nor hear, nor walk. And they refuse to repent of their murders, their genocides, their sorceries, the use of, how do I say this, fraudulent medicine, which is happening right now as we speak, nor of their idolatry, nor of their theft. Yes, time immemorial Christians have been killing each other, taking lands from each other by force. And now it's happening, and the threat of nuclear weapons is happening right now. And once again, if I live through this, I will be thankful. If not, I am certain that I will be raised from the dead. And I would like for you Jews who are watching this YouTube channel, because you're going to be there, you're going to be there on Mount Zion when Jehovah sends the Moshiach to save all Israel. You're going to be there. The fellow who I just pointed out on BitChute, I want you to remember my YouTube channel. Okay? Arleth. Arleth? Is your name Arleth? Yes, Arleth. I know you're still watching my YouTube videos. I want you to remember this YouTube channel. And when you meet the people of authority there, I want you to say, hey, this man from back over there in North Carolina, USA, was talking about this very thing. Don't forget about him. If you could do that for me, I would very much appreciate it. Because if you do that for me, I know that they will come for me. Alright? So things are happening extremely fast right now. And if they're happening this fast right now, it's not going to suddenly slow down. I think that we are at the end right now. So, if you've not gotten your passports ready, I don't know what you're waiting for. If you have not packed a few clothes, for a trip overseas, I don't know what you're waiting for. You might not be able to bring it. Okay? It's because some scriptures indicate you might not be able to bring it, but you might be able to. What if you have it in your hand when it's time to go? Then you take it with you, right? I'm just saying, be prepared. I believe we're at the end. And pay attention. You have access to these news channels just like I do. And don't let your job, your occupation, get in the way of salvation. Don't let your husband or your wife, or your sons or your daughters stand in the way of your salvation. Don't do it. Don't let your brothers or sisters, your friends, people closest to you, when it's time to go, you just go. You'll know when. And you'll know how. Stay awake, folks. Now's not the time to sleep.